Well, hello again, everybody. This is Ron Rogers with the Business Blueprint Podcast, the podcast that makes you think, asks you hard questions, and basically we're here for business owners and big thinkers, people that want to grow businesses and make money. This podcast is for all types of people in any type of business capacity, even if you're not an owner and you're looking to generate a little bit more buzz about you. You want people to find out about your products and your services. This podcast is not for people that are comfortable. It's not for people that like to draw inside the lines or color inside the lines. Okay, if you're not looking for new customers, if you're not looking for better ways to do things, do us all a favor and go ahead and shut this podcast off right now. But I am looking for people that are just like me. Okay, I'm looking for the ones that are looking to help people, looking to provide an outstanding service, looking for ones that are creating all the time and have a desire to network with other professionals like myself. So if that's you, keep listening. And if you're back for another episode, I want to say thanks for coming back to me. And today, we are actually going to talk a little bit about setting prices and finding out what you're worth. What is your value, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, do people really truly understand what they're buying? Or maybe a better question is, do they understand what they're paying for? Okay, for the most part, we're all pretty familiar with the time and materials concept, but the cost of goods and materials, it's not going to change. So the only thing you can do is eat away your profit margin in order to be competitive. And the good news is that's the old school way of doing business. The masses are stuck there. They're still playing small ball. And if you're listening to this, it shows that you are done playing small ball. You're ready for the big time. There is a completely new way of doing business. It is so incredibly different that you're going to feel like the other team never even showed up to play. So our agenda for today is to talk about how people determine value and how it affects their buying decisions. I'm going to give you a few ideas on how to create value for your customer to make them see that the value is not the price of the product or the service that you provide. The value is what it means to them. It's how useful it is to them. Why they can't live without you and your service. Okay? That is actually something you can't put a price tag on. And even if you could, you can't decide for them. They have to decide if it's worth what you're asking. So either way, they're going to make a decision. So why not ask the price that suits you, not them? Let's dive in. If you're not familiar with an elevator pitch, it's a concept that suggests you have a 30-second sales commercial that's ready to go, just so if you happen to bump into somebody in an elevator and they ask, what do you do? You'll be equipped to answer the question with a value proposition and hopefully land a new customer, right? If you've ever worked any type of sales job or you've ever been to any networking event, that's all you hear is all that crap, right? How many of you have an elevator pitch? Right? There are a ton of reasons why we don't have one. Maybe we don't live or work in a town with elevators. It's silly, but it's a reason why somebody might not have an elevator pitch. Maybe you walk around with your stranger danger whistle and you maintain a 3-foot personal space bubble at all times, right? Or maybe it's neither one of those goofy things. Maybe it's just that you don't know what to say, right? Because people avoid situations that are uncomfortable, and therefore many consider an elevator pitch to be a low priority, right? It's avoided. It's not used because we don't want to. I'm going to further illustrate that point and tell you a short story. I used to be in a band, and we were actually really active. We had a decent following, but we tried as hard as we could to stay out of the bars. That's something that's actually really difficult for a lot of local bands to do. And when they're trying to build their awareness and build their following, you kind of don't want to avoid bars. But that was our goal. And the drummer asked me one day, well, if we're gonna avoid that, we need to be valuable to the other organizations that are hiring and paying good money for bands. So we need an elevator pitch. And I started to laugh. I actually thought it was funny. I said, come on, dude, we're a band. We play music. At that point in my life, I had written dozens of elevator pitches and value propositions. I can honestly tell you my best attempt at answering his question that day was tell them to go to our website and listen to the music. They can see, what they're getting. And because to me, seeing was believing. How do you pitch music? You don't. You pitch the experience, and people need to see that. People need to be a part of that. Okay, there's a lot more to that story, but for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to stop it there. But I want you to think about your company. If I were to ask you right now, what do you do? What would your answer be? Would you give me a simple answer like, yeah, I'm a contractor, or I'm a window guy? Right? Maybe are you the one that's going to stumble over your words for the next 30 seconds and anxiously await the elevator doors to pop open so you can get the hell out of there? Right? Or are you armed and ready to go and ready to give me a no bullshit answer? Now you might be thinking, why is all this important for setting my prices? And that all comes back to knowing what you're worth. Okay, the important thing is it's not you that needs to know, it's the customer, the person that is going to buy your service, right? And you need a bigger elevator with a higher likelihood of bumping into somebody important. Remember, you can't tell them either why you're valuable and why you cost what you cost. They have to see it to believe it, just like the example of my band in action. All right, let me ask you this. Do you know what a wedding band is worth? If you don't, that means you've never tried to plan a wedding before. But the first thing you would do is what? You would call you would find a few different bands, or you would ask around, but you would eventually get to the point where you call those bands and ask them what they charge, right? And you're going to get a wide variety of prices and ranges. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. It's like these guys just throw darts at a wall and try to figure out what's going to work. So now where are you? Where are you? Where does that leave you? You have to try to figure out what makes them different, right? What if we go for the low price? Why are they low priced? Are they a bad band? Are they new to the wedding scene? Have they ever done this before? Right? What if we go with the most expensive band? Well, what are we getting? Right? Do they MC the thing? Do they learn songs for the first day? Like, what are we getting for the money? Right? There's risk involved. You don't know what you're getting without seeing it. And when there's money involved, nobody likes risk. I did a podcast a few weeks ago that asked, what makes you different? If you haven't heard it, go back and check it out after this one. It does have some really great insight on how you can separate yourself from your local competition. But that's what matters, because your customers have no clue what your service is worth. Not only do they not have a clue, but when they need you, they don't just call you, right? They entertain bids, just like the band, right? They're going to call two or three of your competitors, and they're going to compare prices. And then what's the next thing? They start to nickel and dime you with all kinds of crazy requests. Why do they do it? Well, mostly because you let them, right? Because they can. We're creatures of habits. Human beings, we are simple people, right? We're creatures of habit. We're going to do what we've always done. We're going to do what other people tell us to do. And you're going to do what you know how to do. Right? I know that if I need a new roof or new windows or a bathroom remodel, I can call 3, 5, 7, however many local contractors, and I can get them all to come out, and I can get them all to bid, and then I can pick whichever one gave me whatever it was I was looking for. Right? It's essentially, it gives us the feel good, right? We want to feel good about the decision that we made, so we crowd ourselves with a lot of decisions. The last thing we want to do as a buyer is get screwed on price. And to be fair, that's the last thing you want as a contractor, right? Anytime you're pitching your project or your product or your service, we don't want to get screwed on price. But for some strange reason, we continue to set ourselves up for it with lowball offers and bids. The good news is there's a simple solution, and the best part of that is you're in control. Let's be real for a second. Most people don't know what anything is worth. right? That's why they continue to pay $6 for a cup of coffee that's got some fancy name and some bearded kid wearing really tight pants handing it to you, yelling your name across the store, right? Honestly, the only time I justify spending that kind of money on a cup of coffee is when I'm meeting with someone to discuss business. See, think about this, guys. The value is not the coffee, okay? I'm not paying $6 to get the experience of a Seattle coffee shop. The value for me is the meeting. A coffee meeting gets both people away from the office. Nobody feels uncomfortable. Nobody feels like they're in control. Nobody feels out of place. It takes your guard down, right? And it allows a meaningful conversation to happen. Other people are in there paying $6 for coffee as a novelty. They want the experience, okay? Two completely different types of people. Getting my words all mixed up here. But two completely different types of people converging at the same place for completely different reasons, but the end result is coffee, right? Those people that like the experience, they feel like they're in some kind of like cool kids coffee club or something, but notice they don't balk at the price. You want people to feel the same way about you, right? After all, I mean, I can brew my coffee at home, or I can get a gas station coffee for under $1. So what's the value? Is it the coffee? No, it's not. It's either the experience or what the coffee brings you to, like me and my meetings, okay? But anyways, most people, they ignore the people that they aren't looking for, like the people that are not looking for your service, okay? So in that example, I would ignore the person that wants to be a part of the cool kid coffee club, right? Because they're not my target customer. But at the same time, I at least want them to know who I am. So that's kind of like you, and avoiding the elevator pitch, right? Why waste time on something that has a low probability or a low profitability, right? If you follow me on any of my social channels, you know I'm a supporter of the do the opposite mentality. Whatever everyone else is doing, I do the opposite. And the reason for that is because it's much, much easier to stand out in the crowd. Think of it as like a game of hide and seek, but you're the only one that knows you're playing. Think back to when you were a kid, right? When you were in a really good hiding spot and you'd been there for a little while, nobody could find you. What eventually got you busted? It was because you peeked to see when you were going to get caught, right? Curiosity nailed you. And the object of the business game is to give your prospect something to peek at, just like the coffee. That Seattle-based company got your attention, and now they charge you a premium for the coffee. Not everybody needs a storefront, guys, okay? But you need a place to put your peekaboo-worthy information. Okay, which brings me back to my conversation with my drummer about sending people back to the band website. The reason that's important is because I like my content to lead back to other content I've created, right? So if I have your attention, I want more of it, okay? Not only do I want your attention, I want as much of it as you'll give me as often as you want to give it to me, okay? The best part of the internet is once something's there, you can leave it there for as long as you want, provided that it doesn't violate any laws or privacy policies or anything like that, okay? I use the internet daily to put my message, my images, my stuff in front of you. I want you to see what you're getting when you go with me. I want you to know what I am all about, right? Same as my band. I want you to see me in my element. I want you to see and experience what you get when you go and pay a premium for a band like mine to play your wedding. Okay, well, what you would have paid. I'm retired musically now. So anyways, it doesn't matter if you're in the market right now or if you're not in the market. I'm still there. Okay, my content is out there on the web waiting for you. I'm not shoving it in your face, right? But when you go looking for it, guess what? It's going to be there. Remember, I'm trying to find you by making you peek at me. You don't know we're playing a game yet, but you're hiding. I want you to peek at me. Sometimes barking like a dog creates enough curiosity to make them peek, right? We've seen those basketball videos before. The point is, guys, if it works, it works. So back to your business. If people don't know you, then you're forced to compete, all right? And the word compete in business always means one of two things. either lower prices or better value. Okay, either way, you've got to get creative. They're on two separate ends of the spectrum, right? Better price or lower prices means less profit margin. Better value means, building a reason why people need to go with you, whatever the value is, right? It may not necessarily be the lowest price. It may be you get more by going with us, but that's also why it costs more. So if I were king of the construction world, here's what I would do to create value and crush competition. First, I'd create a website. Okay, there are plenty of low-cost or free online web builders. Use them. If you don't have one, it comes down to a matter of time, and you're missing a huge opportunity. You need a website. Okay, I would also then create a Facebook, an Instagram, and a Pinterest page, and I would take pictures and videos of everything. When I say everything, guys, I mean literally everything. The inside of your shop, the outside of your shop, your trucks, your crew, jobs that you're currently on, jobs that have been completed. If you're driving along the side of the road and you see a situation that you fix, stop, take a picture, take a video, do a live Facebook feed. Get your stuff in front of people. It's about awareness, okay? Anything you can imagine, photograph it, video it, and post it on those sites at regular intervals. I would also recommend using an automation service to schedule posts and handle your email lists, campaigns, and sales opportunities. All right, those things right there, if I were king of the construction world, that's what every company would have. Okay, also, here's what I would do. I would create simple, do-it-yourself projects, and then I would sell the kits on my website. Okay? It could be anything. Anything at all. If you're a contractor, this is huge. Create a set of plans for a birdhouse or a doghouse. Shit, do a park bench or a picnic bench, whatever. Or a picnic table, not a picnic bench. What the hell's a picnic bench? Anyways, maybe a gazebo. Anything you can think of to just get some content in front of people, because the content is irrelevant. The content is the coffee. What you want is your name, and you want the meeting, right? So, better yet, I'll tell you what, this is huge too. There's this big movement right now of people that are creating awesome things like man caves, bars. I've seen movie theaters, all in like backyard sheds. The ladies are creating like little spas and like little getaways in a backyard shed. Shed costs a couple $100, right? Help them. They want these things. Most people's jobs involve solving problems. A lot of people I know have dreams of owning a mansion or having a room in their house like a billiards room or a movie theater. Like I've always wanted a music studio, okay, an arcade, whatever. The problem is they either don't have the money, they don't think they can afford it, or they don't have the space in their house. Show them a better way. Provide a solution. The solution is you can afford this. All you have to do is look at it a little bit differently. Backyard shed? Maybe you can create a design and sell the materials or sell the plans. Sell a pre-built kit or a pre-cut kit that all they have to do is, some assembly required. Whatever it is, guys, there's something out there. Look at the tiny house market right now. Okay, it's trendy and a ton of people are doing it. I'll let you figure out where to take that opportunity. But anyways, you've got to show people the answers to their problems. And you got to show them how easy it can be too. Okay, create a set of plans for a similar project and then offer it for free in exchange for an email address. Okay, nothing's free. Get their email address from them. As an added bonus, create a list of materials that they'll need, then use your contractor discount that'll save them some money. They call that an affiliate program, right? A lot of stores or a lot of companies will offer an affiliate program where it saves them money and you get paid because you sent them to that particular place to get it. Okay, so if you want to find out how you can maybe participate in that or be a part of an affiliate program, all you got to do is just call your local hardware store or supply house or whatever, wherever you normally do your business. Talk to the manager. They'd be a great place to start. They can at least point you in the right direction. All right, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is if you're valuable, show them you're valuable. Price is not value. You are value. You create the value. Okay, it's all about perception and who knows you. Once they the customer know you and they trust you and they see you as valuable, you can set your price at whatever level you want and they'll pay it. Okay? You know exactly what it costs to run your company. That should determine your pricing structure, not the customer's preference or your competitor's bid. Okay? I'll share one final quick story because I know we're getting close to the normal mark here. I recently read an experiment that was conducted by the economist Dan Ariely, and what he did, he pretended that he was giving away a poetry recital. He told one group of students that the tickets would cost money, and he told another group they'd be paid to attend. All right, so then what he did was he pulled the 52 fake out. He revealed to both groups that the recital was actually free. The first group was super excited and anxious to attend because they thought they were getting something of value for free. Okay, the second group, most of them declined to attend because they were now believing that something they were once being paid to do, they were now being forced to volunteer to do. Long story short, nobody knows the value of the poetry recital other than the people who set the value for the poetry recital, right? And that's the same as your business. It comes back to the idea that we don't know what things should cost. All we do is use cues to tell us what we ought to pay for them. Okay? It might take a little longer than the normal process, but this way, folks, you get more engagement, you get more inbound calls, you get people looking to buy what you're selling. They're going to be stronger opportunities, stronger leads. You're going to be able to give a price confidently instead of trying to bid to win, right? Nobody wins in that scenario. So let's recap real fast. Today we talked about the elevator pitch, how to make it current with 2017, not 1973, right? We now understand that the game has changed. The internet is our most powerful resource for engaging customers when they aren't looking for us, right? That way they only call us when they do need us. They're not calling for bids and references and 100 other things, right? We also talked about building value that people want to buy, not giving away deals that just get them to pick you, right? Lastly, I gave you some ideas for curating content, being attractive to everyday average consumers, and creating a new revenue stream by selling cookie cutter projects on your website. Okay, that's all there is for this episode. So if you enjoyed this podcast or you learned something, just imagine what else I can do for you and your company. I invite you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's where I post all of the archives of podcasts. Only the most recent few stay on my RSS feed, my website. But check out my blog. It's on my website, ProPrintingSystems.com. Click on blog. I put those out weekly, and they've got some really great information and resources as well. So if you're serious about increasing your profit margin and getting the most from your resources, email me. It's Ron at iknowron, RON at IKNOWRON.com, and we can talk about the different opportunities. Also, don't forget, I offer the free e-learning course that helps you build a business Facebook page. It's also available on my website, ProPrintingSystems.com, under the Learn tab. Right? Registration is simple, and you'll have a business Facebook page by the end of it. It takes no time at all, less than an hour, actually. So that's all I've got, guys. This is Ron Rogers with the Business Blueprint Podcast. Thank you for listening, and I will see you all next time.